impact. The storm killed more than 40 people in North Carolina. That number just keeps going up. More than 400,000 people in North Carolina still don't have power. At least that number is coming down. Cell service and internet outages remain an issue, making it more difficult for officials to reach people who need it and let them know where help is available. WRAL's Eric Miller is in Buncombe County speaking with people who are just starting to get some of the first help. Eric is live tonight with some of those recovery efforts. Eric?
Well, Deborah, those recovery efforts definitely needed as we're seeing more and more of scenes just like this one as the French Broad River and other rivers here in the western part of the state go down. Homes, businesses, and more all lost as residents continue to struggle to find food and water. At Wilson's Riverfront RV Park, it's a vanishing act of the worst kind.
There's not a building left. There was a two-story house there. It's gone.
Receding floodwaters revealing homes, shops, and RVs gone.
We've had this business for 50 years now, and I don't know if we can recover from this.
Owner James Rivas dealing not only with this, but 4 days without a source of food or water.
I just been, rationing it out best I could.
Monday, hundreds of thousands of pounds of aid from federal, state, and local governments have been flowing into western NC, but getting it to people remains a challenge. Buncombe County launched 4 distribution sites Monday, hundreds of drivers lined up, those supplies vanishing within the hour. Now we know that FEMA has set up 3 distribution sites across western North Carolina as well. The city of Asheville also stepping up with its own site. But again, demand is so great. You saw those lines out there. These agencies working to get more distribution sites set up for the coming days and to get services online that can bring some of this aid out to people who need it, who might be trapped or might not have working cars after this terrible storm. In Asheville, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
And here it is raining again in that area, but at least it is light rain for now. A senior advisor to President Biden spoke to WRAL today, reiterating the federal government will continue to help in North Carolina.
We had assets pre-positioned there so that we would be better prepared. We have, healthcare providers that are there now. Water is arriving quite literally as we speak in Asheville. It will continue to arrive.
Senior advisor Tom Perez said FEMA is on the ground, as are healthcare workers and the Army Corps of Engineers assisting in power restoration. He believes they've been able to act quickly because the president authorized them to mobilize before the storm hit.
From the WRAL Live Center, we did learn today that President Biden is coming to North Carolina on Wednesday, flying to RDU first and then heading to Asheville for an aerial tour and briefing of the damage in the North Carolina mountains. We have seen pictures, a lot of pictures from the Asheville area, also from the Boone area. We're now starting to get a better sense of some of the smaller, more remote parts of the North Carolina mountains. This is new video from Burnsville. This is a Charlotte realtor who went up there yesterday and was able to capture some of this video of the damage in Yancey County. You can see extensive damage there. Some still images show the conditions that they're dealing with. I just checked with Yancey County officials. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing there, and this afternoon they have been able to use helicopters to get some of the stranded people to safety.
It's hard to look at this video without a lump in your throat. Brian, thank you. Take a look at this new drone 5 video over Biltmore Village, one of the most beautiful and quaint places in all of North Carolina, covered with mud. The Biltmore estate, is temporarily closed through Thursday. The estate posted on its website today that they are working to safely reopen.
We have a list of people who have reported themselves as safe from the storm on WRAL.com. If you want to mark yourself safe, please reach out to us using the form in the online story and then use the subject line NC Safe List.
Back now on WRAL News at 6. Here is a live look at North Hills to the WRAL Live Cam network. Sun trying to peek through the clouds on the horizon. This image tame by comparison in other parts of the area. We've already seen a couple of tornado warnings, and we're going to be under a threat for a little bit longer here on this Monday evening. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV, Spectrum, and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
People across western North Carolina are still seeing those letters SOS right here instead of seeing bars on their cell phones showing that they have cell service. And that means on top of having no food, water, or electricity, some people can't even call their families to let them know they are safe.
WRAL Sean Gallagher joins us live from a cell tower in Raleigh tonight. And Sean, on Friday, you were one of those people in Asheville who lost cell service when the storm came through.
Yeah, Gerald, and that can be very disconcerting, especially when you're trying to communicate with loved ones. And that service is coming back slowly, but very slowly. Only, or about 90% of people in Asheville don't have any cell phone service at all, and that doesn't count the surrounding areas that have none whatsoever. And that's because we've become so reliant on these cell phone towers to operate as we expect them, so that they can provide instant communication. So while these horrific visuals continue to come out of Asheville, it's the voices of those being impacted that we're not hearing from quickly enough. Hey, how's it going?
It's going. It's been stressful.
For days now, Kirsten Stark has been looking for information out of Asheville. More than 460,000 people on this Facebook group are doing the same, all looking for information about people they can't get in touch with. One of many lists of missing people.
One list I saw had 768 names on it. Oh, it makes me want to throw up.
People desperate to connect. I mean, how many times do you think you've tried to call your dad in the last 3 days?
Probably about 30.
Her family last talked to her dad, William Doug Nelson, on Friday morning, and nothing ever since.
Because at day 3 of him potentially not having insulin, I'm scared.
We still cannot place cell phone calls to basic services to help communicate.
The mayor of Canton, North Carolina, voicing frustrations like many. They can't communicate.
It's not one form of communications. It's all communications are down.
Tony Gupton has been with WRAL for over 4 decades. He's currently about an hour south of Asheville, helping crews get on air with the help of Starlink satellite internet connections. He says he hasn't seen communications this poor since 9/11. Even during Hurricane Florence, Tony says 85% of cell sites held strong. But this was different.
I would imagine probably what happened to you guys and everybody else. Eventually, the water got so deep and it rose so high and flooded the cell sites. So generators not going to work underwater.
And that landslides cut main fiber lines for them. We've asked them and pushed them to bring in their deployable assets.
Assets like mobile Wi-Fi hotspots, like these trucks that came into town from T-Mobile today. And there's no estimate for when service could be returned. So the only thing people like Kirsten can do is to keep calling.
It goes straight to his voicemail, and in some way hearing his voice is a little comforting.
So in addition to those T-Mobile hotspots that are coming in, FEMA is sending Starlink satellites to try to help improve communications much quicker, to try to make sure people from outside of the area can get in touch with those inside. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News in Wake County.